We have seen the 12 principles of green chemistry in previous video. Now we are discussing a synthesis where the starting compound is a green material, and we will compare this with another starting compound. Now see, if we want to prepare adipic acid, this adipic acid is very important compound for the synthesis of polyamides. That's why it is required in tons. So if you have to prepare adipic acid, there is a method which we can, by using that method, we can prepare adipic acid from the benzene, and this benzene is obtained from the petroleum product. So this is a feedstock. This is a raw material for the synthesis of adipic acid, and we have taken that raw material from the petroleum, which is non-renewable energy source. And you can see here all steps where we need to heat that compound at very high temperature, and even you can see here the byproduct, that is nitrogen oxide. So you can compare this our routine method, and if we replace this synthesis with another green method, what will happen? Here the starting material is a D-glucose, which you can say is a renewable energy source and is a green starting material. If you use some genetically engineered bacteria for the synthesis, this D-glucose is converted into 3-dihydroshikimic acid. This 3-dihydroshikimic acid is converted into muconic acid, and after just reduction, catalytic reduction of muconic acid, we can have adipic acid. You can compare these two routes. First route, you can see there is no other side product. Even this catalyst can be recovered. And in another route, you can say our routine method, we generate lot of this byproduct, which is harmful to the nature, which is harmful to the environment. But on another side, this is green chemical synthesis of adipic acid, which is used in tons for the synthesis of polyamides. Thank you. Now I'll discuss how green reagents are used and what is the effect of that reagent on the environment in green chemistry. Particularly, we are considering here one green reagent, that is dimethyl carbonate, which can be used as a methylating reagent. Now, if you want to do methylation reaction by conventional way, you can use either dimethyl sulfate or methyl iodide. These two are toxic to the environment. So instead of that, if you use dimethyl carbonate, this dimethyl carbonate is prepared from the carbon dioxide. That carbon dioxide is taken from the environment, and although that carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas, but if you are using that carbon dioxide for the synthesis of dimethyl carbonate, there is no net loss or gain of carbon dioxide. So we can easily use it. So if you are using this dimethyl carbonate, you can see here the byproduct is carbon dioxide, which was taken from the environment and going back to the environment. No net loss or gain. And this is methanol, which is less toxic. Now, as compared to this sulfate or iodide compound. Now see, you can do the methylation in this reaction. Similarly, the same reagent you can use for the methylation of primary amine. This primary amine is converted into tertiary amine. Now, by using this dimethyl carbonate, here we are performing this reaction in microwave. Again, we can reduce the reaction time if you are using microwave, and you can see here this byproduct is a carbon dioxide and methanol. So in this way, you can use green reagent to reduce the pollution, or to convert our synthesis from conventional method to the green method. Thank you. Use of green solvents. Supercritical carbon dioxide can be used as a green solvent that we are going to discuss here. Now if you want to prepare supercritical carbon dioxide, its critical temperature is 32 degrees Celsius and we have to maintain temperature 73.8 bar. So then only we can prepare supercritical carbon dioxide. So this supercritical carbon dioxide is a green solvent. We are taking carbon dioxide from the environment and it is going back to the environment, and it is not harmful. So we can use as a green solvent just like water. Now some properties are, it is non-flammable. So the most important problem with organic solvents, volatile organic compounds particularly, they are flammable, and if they are flammable there is a chance of accident. So to avoid that accident, we must find out another green solvents like supercritical carbon dioxide, which is non-flammable. This is good. This is good solvent for many non-polar and polar low molecular weight compound. That is actually the limitation of this supercritical carbon dioxide. But I have given here some very important uses of supercritical carbon dioxide. This supercritical carbon dioxide solvent can be used as an extraction solvent. We can use for the decaffeination or removal of caffeine from either tea or from coffee. That is done by using supercritical carbon dioxide. Or we can remove fatty acid, more dangerous fatty acids we can remove by using supercritical carbon dioxide. We can extract vitamin E from the plants. We can extract nicotine from the tobacco. We can extract flavors or aroma from certain aromatic plants or many other plants. Now see, another use of supercritical carbon dioxide is the reaction medium. So you can use as a solvent for certain reactions. Nowadays this supercritical carbon dioxide is used in a polymer industry, and also it is used for the synthesis of micro and nanoscale particles. Nanoparticles we can prepare by using supercritical carbon dioxide. So these are very few applications of supercritical carbon dioxide, but we must go for this kind of green solvents to save our mother earth and to make our synthesis or to make our practice more greener. That's it. Thank you.